Hello guys, I want to react to this most famous internet troll. Now, let's see what this is about, Mr. Metokur. Me. I'm not even attempting. Okay, let's see.
Mr. Metokur is the most famous internet troll. One that through his 16-year tenure has built up a reputation with his involvement in things like Gamergate and internet blood sports, or even just his exposing.
Wait, Gamergate. Gamergate. I wanna see what was Gamergate. Gamergate. Harassment campaign. Gamergate, or GG, was loosely a misogynistic online campaign. Gamergate was a misogynistic online harassment campaign by right-wing groups. It was a backlash against feminism, diversity, and progressivism again in video game culture. Hashtag Gamergate was primarily used in 2014-15, so the guy is like way back, almost 10 years. Yes. So, like I said, I will probably link this Wikipedia in the video. Probably good info.
Up bathtub Ross.
Why were you looking up naked kids in bathtubs in the first place, Ross?
I thought, like, why not? Like, are you kidding me? Like,
It is his coverage of marginal yet aggressive communities that has earned him his fame, and it is his personality that keeps people coming back.
Totally not interested in two anthropomorphic robotic creatures getting each other gay pregnant.
Because Metokur is highly elusive, he disappears for months on end. Yet viewership is easily regained because none can fill his void. He is someone that is largely anonymous yet highly well known. Someone that publicly attacking him only emboldens his existence. Someone that lives in a destabilizing environment yet remains consistent. He breaks all the rules and somehow always ends up on top. And this is his story. In 2008, there was a crop-up of Gym81 Gym accounts made on various websites. Through the profiles of this
Gym81, I will look that up real quick. I linked it to, how is it called? 81 Gym. This is also very famous. Oh boy. Oh boy. I will not read that on the video. That's for someone else. I will still link it.
Individual, much can be extracted.
The nice thing about Stage 6 was you could upload a 5-hour video, a 10-hour video. They had like an adult-only section. You could have violence and sex, and they didn't care. It was a great website. And so when DivX, they wanted to get their codec pushed in Hollywood, and part of the deal with that and the phone manufacturers they were working with was they had to get rid of the website. And they couldn't sell it to anybody. Microsoft, other people wanted to buy it. They refused to sell it. So they just shut it down. So what happened was there was, a large community of people. We had like all these little subgroups. People are like in anime, video games, whatever, all these different groups kind of got like thrown out. So we all started making our own little websites and our own little groups that kind of reach out to each other. So a lot of the accounts are kind of in relation to that.
From his Stage 6 profile, he introduces himself as James, and in his bio states he is 26 years old. That is where I get my handle from.
Okay, so I have decided to put a little more effort into the About Me section of my profile. First off, my name is James, and contrary to what my profile lists as my age, I was goofing around when I signed up. Put down a bogus birth date. Okay, I'm 26 years old. That is where I get my handle from. James 81, year of birth, James. Blah 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 blah. Yeah.
From Jim equals James, 81 year of birth, Jim equals what the hell? One more time and you get Jim 81 Jim. This is the same handle I use on every site, so more than likely, if you see a user with it somewhere else, it is me, unquote. On the right-hand side, along with sharing his interest of an archetypical nerd, he shares that he lives in Minnesota. Then on this account, while the information is lacking in the profile, the website itself is a Minnesota's writers group, again confirming his location and desire to be a writer.
The Minnesota's writers group, that was part of an English 101 class for an associate's degree.
From these three websites, it can be concluded that Jim 81 Jim was born on October 9th, 1981. His first name is James. He lives or lived in Forest Lake, Minnesota, and has an interest in writing and is currently attending college. This, as it was back then, is all accurate, as Jim confirmed this information to be true on later dates. The purpose of being able to piece this information together is both understanding who Jim is, but also understanding why this was a mistake because of the environment he was going to enter.
I mean, I was fairly good about...
Wait a minute. I took something to eat. I think that will be some time. So let's come back. Okay.
About not having a lot of personal stuff up, and that's insane, right? When you when I'm telling you, like, my original username was linked to the college I went to. Nobody ever figured that out, right? Isn't that weird? That nobody ever took a minute to look through the website and be like, oh shit, this is an English composition class. But this is the school he goes to, right? Nobody ever did. I ended up getting doxxed initially, like back in the day during Gamergate, and I got doxxed not because I had like pieces of personal information out. Somebody hacked into my PayPal.
As seen on his Vio account, Jim made AMVs, or anime music videos. This one is titled Oran Gay Bar AMV. While this video is inaccessible, it is understood that this was unserious. It was made as a joke, as implied by the profile flavor text. Quote, I am me, to myself, alone, unquote. What's more, on his Stage 6 profile, he was uploading his prank calls as Mr. Roger and Joe Pesci. But that was not all.
Hi everybody, this is Jim81Jim, and I decided to do a video because I'm frankly blown away. I'm blown away by the fact that this even exists. We're talking a half a page up from his donate button, begging you for money so he can keep this shitty little fucking site going. He's got an announcement talking about all the shit he just bought. I don't know what the fuck E4all is. I'm gonna guess it's got to do with video games or anime, because he's white and he's a virgin, and therefore anything he does has to revolve around those two fucking things. So here's a list of what he's bought. Transformers, Japanese PS2. Twinkle Star sprites for the Dreamcast. Snatcher for the Sega Saturn. Pretty Soldier Sailor Moon, another story for the Super Famicom. We need a group of people who believe in quality control and can do something about it. What happened to the Black Hatters? You remember those guys? The real hackers, the people who could really do shit, who could really affect change, just a snap of their fingers and shit changed. Please? Make it go away and then post a video response and make my day better. This is Jim81 Jim, preparing to stick a revolver in his mouth because he actually saw that this existed.
That was a video on Spax 3, an infamous Sonic critic. Jim made the video in late 2008, likely with the intent of it being viewed by a pocket of people from the websites he visited, like 4chan or Metokur.
If you're just doing it to fuck around and have a good time, and you're showing it to friends, you're showing it to people like in a community you're a part of, without any intention of growing a brand or making money or being considered, publicly acceptable, yeah, you're going to say all sorts of wild stuff. You're going to put in suicide jokes. You're going to show video clips that there's no way anybody's going to let you do.
No suicide, please. So, suicide bad. Don't kill yourself. Don't jump off a bridge. Don't take your toaster into your bathtub. Thank you.
Do it. And to be fair, too, at the time, YouTube really didn't care.
So, I made this video as kind of an inside joke. It was just a response to the to the post that was in this thread. Like I had said, it was an inside joke. It wasn't meant to be anything more than that. But, over the last 6 months since I did that video, other people have come forward and they've done parodies, they've done spoofs, they've done all sorts of crazy shit. I've seen animated series, and I've seen rants, and I've seen just a lot of really clever shit out there that's funny. It's entertaining, and it's good. And what happens to those people? They get banned. They get kicked off of YouTube. They get kicked off DeviantArt. And, it's bullshit. It's bullshit that he can wield that kind of power. It's bullshit that people will, flag videos for him. He's got people flagging videos for him.
Jim is not a big fan of censorship or hypocrisy, and he especially does not like when creators take down critical or satirical pieces. And so, in 2009, he embarked on creating a series of videos covering Spax 3.
The sky at night is the same. The stars, the moon.
The bears. Sorry.
Spax 3 was critical of the voice actor used in the 4Kids series, and as such, Jim was making fun of Spax 3's own rendition. Overall, there are 12 parts to Jim's coverage of Spax 3. The initial video covering the forum, 5 videos covering Spax as a person, 5 other videos reacting to some of his Let's Plays, and a last, conclusive video. Within the first 6 videos, Jim uses slurs freely as he does, and also includes a video of a person ending himself. This is how he addressed some of that backlash.
Well, fuck me, everybody's a critic. God, what can you do? You make one dead Mexican joke and everybody's on your ass.
Jim also included an around 30-second clip of one of Hitler's speeches juxtaposed to him immediately wishing everyone a happy Easter. He later incorporates this into the same video.
Happy Easter, everybody!
The online space in 2009 was more free and edgy, but unlike other creators who later expressed that the things they said in the past don't demonstrate their beliefs, Jim hardly ever focused on himself and allowed the audience to come to their own conclusions on his intentions.
That normally ends badly. Out of experience. If you let people have conclusions about you, we will have the wrong conclusions about you mostly. Yeah. So, let's hope.
And as for those, he did not intend to become as popular as he was.
Let's hope
pretty much
that's
the other
good.
big one is, well, what are you going to do after Spax? Nothing. I have no idea why I have subscribers on YouTube or Dailymotion or Vimeo or any of the other places. So I have no idea why I have like 400 something subs. I don't know what you guys want. I don't make a lot of videos. If you've watched the shit that I've done recently, it's just bullshit fun stuff,
What followed were videos without consistent themes, like his 2 videos dedicated to Mike, a forum member that was having problems running game emulators, and no matter how clear Jim's instructions were, Mike could not get these emulators to work. This is what inspired Jim's first video to Mike, giving visual step-by-step instructions on how to get these emulators in games to work. But it turns out Mike even had issues with that.
Here it is. His fucking response to my video. I can't watch that. Firefox needs me to get Flash, and I can't install it. IE didn't have that problem. So, I just think about it. Let that sink in for a minute. And what does he mean that Firefox doesn't play Flash? I'm using fucking Firefox. In fact, I've never had a problem with Flash, and if you're looking at my desktop, you're going to see I use Firefox, Opera, Netscape, Avant, Safari, Real Player, and Internet Explorer. So, I don't know what problems he's having, man, but this kid is fucking amazing. So, there you go. That's my after video. I'd say, hey, Mike, give me your...
Emulators. Oh boy. Yeah. I don't want to say the wrong thing, because anyone who uses emulators is technically, he's not, or she, he, she, it, they, them, we're not committing a crime, technically. But if you don't own the copy, I'm not saying anything, so, yeah. I mean, if you don't have any money, it's a job. Okay.
Your
Let's
response,
watch
but apparently you can't watch the video.
Jim is drawn to spaces that he sees as abnormal. He enjoys the absurdity in situations. So even though Mike did not benefit from these videos, Jim did because of how fruitless they were. But everyone has a line with what they deem too absurd, and Jim's line is life ruination.
There's one thing I have never fucking done to anybody, and that is outright try to paint them like they've done something horrible like that. I've never accused anybody of rape or murder or because that's a line I don't fucking cross. I'm not going to destroy your life in an attempt to get back at you for something. That's just fucked up. I'll screw with you, but I'm not going to go that extra step and try to fucking ruin you like that without backing that shit up with some fucking proof.
What caused this uproar was a situation in the Transformers toy reviewer community. A situation where one group of people, including a popular reviewer in the space, were accusing a different reviewer of being a predator. But the accusers gave no evidence until pressed, and this was their evidence.
So what he said is, the bee shoots its honey on the flower's face. Yeah. The bee shoots its honey on the flower's face. But this is what we're going to destroy somebody's life over? Is a fucking teenage boy hearing a bad sex joke? Are you fucking kidding me?
While Jim was a troll at heart, there were times he would drop the veil to address something he saw as important. But for the most part, especially in 2010, Jim was set out on trolling and would lay out bait videos. These would critique communities rather than individuals.
God, I had like hundreds of accounts. I just with different names. What I used to do is I'd make an account, and I'd set up a fake persona, and then I'd make bait videos, and I'd let it sit for like.
So it's like wait. 2015 was it? 15. So he's like must be a bit after. So here 2007 first channel 15 14. Ooh he dogs crowd. Oh, really? I didn't know about that. So, this guy destroyed crowd? Okay. Wow. Wow. So it must be like a little during Gamergate.
3 years. Because eventually a group would come across it and try to like get an easy kill on it.
Victims constantly took the bait, one of which was a juggalo defending the insane clown posse.
And then I get a response. He made a video response to me. This is fantastic. And his video response is it's just great. So he was inebriated. So to be fair, I've smoked some weed. And I don't mean, oh, hey guys, look, I'm a stoner. No, I mean I'm really high. Honest to God, right now, I'm fucking stoned. I think that evens the odds.
No vaping, kids. No smoking weed. Bad for you, okay? Cigarettes also. Don't smoke.
Because I want to be fair. Fair and balanced, like Fox News, guys.
Jim also made bait videos criticizing the commentary community, and so came the responses.
People like to make this kind of video content, therefore you have got no right to say that they haven't got the right to make it.
If the anime
No, I don't think I'm cool. Just really fucking good looking. Really, really good looking.
That black and white image is, according to Jim, the only image of him out there. But most of what Jim states about himself is brought into question because he enjoys messing with people.
But I was like, oh yeah, by the way, do you know what my popular dancing channel is? And he's like, what are you talking about? And it's like, oh yeah, I have it's like 300,000 subs. And like they couldn't wrap their head around it, but people started going to look for it. I always found the idea funny to make people go look for shit.
Though the thought is absurd, it is known that Jim had various channels. Some of the more prominent are Games Good Me Bad, Jim81 Jim, Midlife Jim, and the best known at the time, Internet Aristocrat. Where Jim often abandoned channels after a few months of use, this channel is one he came back to the most, though every now and then, he will revive a different channel for important updates.
Games Good Me Bad here, and today I just wanted to tell you a big update. At 7:45 p.m. Central Standard Time, I'm going to be taking a shit.
Up until late 2013, this is what Jim was, an extremely small creator by intention who scattered his videos across various channels, some possibly still undiscovered, and countless videos have not yet been archived. His shift in content came with the revisiting of the Internet Aristocrat. More previously, his channel at most would have a couple thousand subscribers. Now, with somewhat consistent weekly uploads, his channel was gaining popularity like never before. In addition to this, he changed his mainstay content. Instead of making videos for the purpose of trolling, he was now creating a series that looked into internet oddities or exposed sections of communities where their culture was far removed from the rest of the internet or even just their own communities. These came in the form of Tumblrisms, the Hugbox Chronicles, and Internet Insanity. The way Jim typically approached the Hugbox Chronicles was to give a broad overview of a community, then slowly focus on the strangest or most damaging members that often attempt to usurp the community to promote their own ideologies. And for Jim, censorship of discussion was always an issue.
They become a part of the group, and then they subtly suggest their poison until it propagates and destroys. Imagine a virus injecting itself into a healthy cell and then spreading through the mechanism of the cell itself. That is what these people are. Special snowflakes are a pox upon any nation which allows them in and upon any group which will host them. Now you could watch my videos and you could say, I don't like what he says. He's abrasive. He uses language I don't like. He appears to be conservative and I'm not. But at least we can have a conversation.
It is true that Jim was massively hated, but also beloved. He hardly, if ever, addressed his critics in a serious matter, which gave them far less power. And that's how he built an audience who doesn't care about his political ideologies. They are there for the content. And as they do, Jim expressed his enjoyment of viewing for talent over political beliefs.
And when he branched off from that to do the Colbert Report as the host, it made sense to me. I watched it for quite some time. I like his sense of humor, his style of delivery, his ability to get a joke across, and he played the role very well. He's a parody of a right-wing conservative pundit. And whether you're a conservative or not, you have to admit, he can be funny, and he can make a joke that will make you laugh, even if you don't agree with his point.
The reason Jim was talking about the Colbert Report was because of a canceling that was attempted at the time. And tangentially, this sort of content was gripping Jim's channel. As was popular at this time, he was making videos on Anita Sarkeesian, SJWs, and other videos of those themes. This was Jim's role in what is known as Gamergate.
What you're looking at is a copyright claim against a YouTube user by the name of Mundane Matt on a video called Hell Hath No Fury Like a Lover Scorned. That copyright claim was filed by Zoe Quinn, the person who is the subject of the video itself. Now, in the copyright claim, she had stated that he'd used a still image of her game, Depression Quest, which she's a creator of, and that she had ownership over that, and that's why the video needed to be pulled down. Because it was infringing on her intellectual property. But the truth is, it had nothing to do with that. So her copyright claim had nothing to do with him using her intellectual property. What it had to do with was suppressing information from getting out. And that's something that's been going on now for the last 3 days since this began.
Alongside covering the silence of creator Mundane Matt, Jim made a couple of videos covering Zoe Quinn's infidelity as told through her ex-boyfriend's testimony alongside the game journalist she had relations with who also covered her game. These videos skyrocketed in popularity, and not just for Jim. Being that Mundane Matt's video was removed, he became a point of conversation, and as such, the Streisand effect played its role and gave his channel popularity as he became more intertwined with Gamergate. Other people jumped into the fray, such as Milo Yiannopoulos and the Ralph Retort. These sorts of people were becoming the de facto figureheads of the movement, and with more ideologies and contentious individuals involved, whatever Gamergate was, it became even more confused and impossible to define.
If you were to poll the room of people that were in that, or paying attention to it, you're going to get 100 different answers. I mean, you've got demographics from all over the internet. You had Reddit, you had Tumblr, you had 4chan, you had YouTubers, you had Let's Players. They all had different reasons for being attracted to it or being interested in it. I don't know what to tell you. Anything I say about it is going to piss off a group of people. If I give one opinion one way, the people that were in it are going to hate me, and if I give you an opinion the other way, the people that were against it are going to hate me. There's no good answer I can give you that's not going to get me a metric ton of shit.
With Jim saying his piece and seeing the confusion and the co-opting of the movement, he made an announcement.
So realistically, I'm done. The channel's shut down. I'll pop up maybe in 6 or 7 months. None of you are going to remember what I sound like. You're probably not going to find the channel. That's just how I'd prefer it. I didn't like a large audience. And to be frank with you, the whole Gamergate thing is depressing. The saddest fucking thing about all of this is, it wasn't mainstream media. It wasn't multi-million-dollar corporations, it wasn't corrupt journalists, and it wasn't social justice warriors that killed Gamergate. Gamergate shot itself in the foot by becoming what they're fighting, and that is just too much to fucking handle.
Like, outwardly, we're just, like, kind of trying to vanish, and, like, inwardly, it's like, hey, this is, like, my real reason kind of deal.
Yeah, I threw it up on poll and on V, and I was like, this is why, these were Vokaroos. It was like 4 or 5 of them. So it's like a recording limit, but I was like, basically this is what's going on, and I think somebody saved them and then stitched them together.
Metokur in this video was both announcing his departure from Gamergate and the abandonment of the Internet Aristocrat channel. Still, not all was lost. Through his fame, or mayhaps charisma, he did manage to make a few friends during his tenure as the Internet Aristocrat.
So dreamy. That's from Jade 3D Fox. I think I'm saying that right. I don't know who you're talking about, Jade. Milo in his pearl necklace is pretty dreamy. If it was going to sway me for the other team, it probably would be that. But as I've said before, I have a thing for Asian chicks. So unless Milo suddenly changed ethnicity.
So when does the thing with crowd happen? After Bros Saga. Wait, IBS? Okay. Damn.
It's probably not going to happen.
Jade was a creator in this space who made videos on Anita Sarkeesian and the like. She is an Asian woman and exactly Jim's type.
Jade Fox wants to know, would you fuck Lee Alexander for $1 million?
What the fuck? No, but I'd fuck Jay Fox for free.
With that, Jim got his wish.
Next.
As in late 2014, things were moving along rather quickly.
How did we meet? You mean us? Yeah. Yeah, somebody in chat asked, how did Jade and I meet? We met online, and then went on 5 dates, and then she moved in.
Yeah.
This stream is notable for strange happenings, but
Guys, it's easier to get a girlfriend than you think. Apparently. I don't have a girlfriend, but, you know, it's easier.
those won't be addressed. As for Jim's YouTube presence, the Internet Aristocrat channel was not entirely abandoned because Jim had given free access to users to upload nonsensical slop in the form of videos. Just as these uploaders took the Internet Aristocrat channel, Jim took Metokur. And in March of 2015, the Mr. Metokur channel began uploading. The header read, 24-hour ops forever, duder. The profile icon was one of a rotund man in sunglasses pointing. This man is Haberman, the former owner of the Metokur forums. The origin of the website's name, as Jim tells it, was chosen through a mispronunciation of the word mediocre.
What's the deal between you and Haberman? When you're talking about Metokur and all of that? Yeah, people have asked about that. I'll give you the background story if you want. I met Haberman, or as I like to call him, the Troll Lord, back maybe 5 years ago. He was running a site called Metokur.org. Went to the website, went to the forums, made an account, ended up meeting him and a few of the other members, and just kind of joined the site. Essentially, it was mocking people on YouTube. There was something called DeviantArt Coalition for Quality Control, where we would go and find somebody on DeviantArt and critique their stuff and just shit talk.
Wait. How is it called? Deviant.
As these uploaders was chosen through a mispronunciation of the word mediocre.
Back maybe 5 years ago, he was running a site called Metokur.org. Went to the website, went to the forums, made an account, ended up meeting him and a few of the other members, and just kind of joined the site. Essentially, it was mocking people on YouTube. There was something called DeviantArt Coalition for Quality.
Let's find out what that is. Wait. Okay. Let's
Quality control, where we would go and find somebody on DeviantArt and critique their stuff and just shit talk them and put up articles about that. There was what the fuck was it? Metokur After Dark, which was we'd go to people's private amateur porn pages and basically do a retsu praise of their porn videos.
Retsu praise, as Jim describes them, are in essence reaction videos with an emphasis on smack talk. The Metokur website, now entirely wiped from the internet, was famous for its trolling plans, one of which involved creating a Half-Life 2 mod that recreated school violence situations for the purpose of getting national attention. Specifically, they wanted to get on Fox News to debate on the side that defended their project. At least, that's what they wanted Fox News to think.
He was going to go on television and debate Jack Thompson, and the joke was going to be when he got on television, instead of advocating for free games and creativity and all that shit, he was just going to totally agree with the host and completely fuck with their mind. But it never went anywhere. It kind of died on the vine.
Metokur's influence bled across the internet. The members hardly stuck to a single website and could be found using 4chan, the Something Awful forums, and the Encyclopedia Dramatica. The Encyclopedia Dramatica was ostensibly a wiki for trolls. Infamous for its presentation of its subjects, as such, everyone was fair game. And if you made a name for yourself in this space, whether you were received positively or negatively, there would likely be a derisive article written about you. But that rule did not apply to the ED singers.
And there was this group called the EDS Singers. And the Ed Singers were just unfunny, untalented people. But because they, if I remember right, because they were paying money and donating to the site, they were considered untouchable. They had made friends with people in positions of power, and you couldn't shit talk them, and if you did, people would come after you. What ended up happening was the Sysop and Haberman and a few others got angry at her.
Once Haberman got the ED Singers doxxed and began a campaign of harassment, the death of the website Metokur was assured.
Well, the ED Singers somehow, through the use of a private investigator or somebody else, found Haberman's personal information. And they filed actual lawsuits against him in the state of New York and elsewhere, like civil suits. And it freaked him the fuck out. Because he was anonymous. I mean, he was called Haberman, but nobody really knew where he was, or what his name was, or any of that shit.
With these consequences all too real for Haberman, he goes to his fellow Metokur members in a panic, proclaiming that they should be left alone. Yet prodding the ED Singers was not his final mistake.
And then he foolishly tells all of us, by the way, I'm going on vacation for a week. LMTE's in charge of the forum.
The posting of Haberman's docs was all Jim's idea, and so he got the brunt of the blame.
And I say good riddance to Metokur and all it stood for. Selfishly, I attribute it to the fact that I was forced to hide my own sexuality and harass my fellow LGBT peers, prolonging an addiction to pain prescription medication, stunting my emotional growth, and suppressing my sense of empathy, as well as generally enabling behaviors which I can now recognize as despicable.
That was from Haberman's final post on the website.
But if I had to be 100% honest, I think he was depressed, he was dealing with shit. He ended up getting help, getting medicated, and then it just changed who he was.
Now, virtually no trace of it can be found. At most, it exists in the memories of its members, one of which was H-Bomber a now popular creator that, as Haberman did, disavowed his actions on the website. A regret of actions known on the internet as troll's remorse.
Yeah, I like to take the piss out of H-Bomber Guy, but to be fair to him, again, like I'm trying to be fair to Haberman with my explanation, H-Bomber Guy was involved with screwing with people, but it was pretty minimal, right? That wasn't his main focus. Like when I said that a lot of goons came over just because they were upset with like the LP stuff, he was kind of one of those. But we did watch Naruto porn together. That is true. Please include that. That's a bonding experience. For Metokur After Dark, Haberman wanted to do a Retsupre of like adult videos. He thought that would be funny. And he wanted to do it of like really terrible animated porn. And there was this one of Naruto.
There is a conflict of image of what Metokur was, though Haberman recalls it as a horrific place full of life-ruining campaigns. Jim's recollection is far different.
Metokur was dumb, and it was a place to go to make and do dumb things and fuck with people online. And that's all there was really to it. And I think Haberman feels slighted because we stopped talking to each other, and he perceives it like, I don't know, like I'm the devil. Because he talks about coming out, like he's gay now, and says that obviously Jim couldn't handle that. Never mentioned it to anybody in any of the Skype rooms, and nobody would have given a shit. Nobody would have fucking cared.
By 2015, the website was gone, and relationships between some of its members were soured. Jim, as to counter Haberman's wiping out of Metokur, created that Mr. Metokur channel, so that its popularity would counter the history Haberman tried to erase. There were a few notable changes in the direction of Jim's new channel. Now largely known as Metokur, he adopted a new profile icon, one of a featureless face. The headset and the hat are of the scout from the game Team Fortress 2. The icon was used interchangeably with the image it described, or one where the figure had a weapon pressed against its head. That will not be shown because YouTube does not like that sort of thing.
I will react to more of it later. It's like a full movie. My attention span died. Okay. Yeah. Watch the video, guys.